Hey y'all, I'm just sitting here at the Blue Beacon. I should have started this live back an hour and a half ago when I first got here waiting in line. Now there's only 2 trucks ahead of me, not including the one that's in the bay. But I was on a live earlier with y'all and we were talking about AI and the trucking industry and self-driving trucks and the falsehood, the fallacy that we have not got enough truckers for the freight, that there's a huge trucker shortage, and it's a way that they're pushing through all these deals, laws and rules and regulations. It's allowing them to continue to push their agenda for getting autonomous trucks out there. So they're saying there's just not enough people willing to be truck drivers. So if we don't have autonomous trucks, we're not going to be able to get freight to the stores and stuff like that. And it's just a fallacy that the lobbyists are pushing for, that's for these autonomous truck driving companies, self-driving trucks. And they're taking our jobs. They've already got routes from Dallas to Oklahoma City, from California to Phoenix, and they're getting these laws passed and these regulations to do it by saying that there's just not enough truck drivers. And I'm sorry, personally, I think we need to lose about 25% of the current truck drivers just to get to a point that a truck driver can make a decent living. The market is swamped. Now that's my opinion. What's y'all's opinion on it? I mean, there's truck drivers out there that have been driving a hell of a lot longer than me. Now, I don't personally think that autonomous trucks are going to take over in my career. I'm only doing this, any kind of truck driving, for another 10 years. And I'm only doing full-time over-the-road truck driving another 3 years. So would y'all give me some thumbs up? Let me know you're in here. And by the way, if you haven't yet, please push that like button and subscribe to the channel and hit that notification button. That way you'll know when my lives are coming. Well, my lives are always done off the cuff. For all you hard truck drivers, you know that it is really hard to plan something like this if you're an over-the-road truck driver. You kind of just got to do it when you have a minute, when you have the time. And I'm going to have this will be about a 30-minute live. I'm guessing is how long it's going to take me to get through Blue Beacon. And any of y'all who've been through Blue Beacon, I have been here for an hour and 33 minutes waiting in line. It's ridiculous. But, you know, we need to clean the trucks. So, what's y'all's view? Do you think we are having a trucker shortage? Or do you just think that's something that they're making up to get these things passed? And I think we had too many truckers. I think a lot of people poured into this during COVID because the money was ridiculous. And now there's too many truckers, not enough freight, which has turned this into like a broker's market. Not even so much for shippers and receivers. The brokers are the one making the biggest amount of money. And so that's driving the freight prices for the drivers down. And people are struggling. They're taking whatever loads they can get. Like this load I'm on, last year I wouldn't have taken this load. It's going at about $1.40 a mile with 2 stops, and it's a FedEx load. I'm deadheading 800 miles to do this load, to get this on my paycheck. That's sad. I would have never dreamed of it. And if we weren't so flooded with too many drivers, this market would be way different. And we would have a lot more freight between us and for us. So You know, the idea that the lobbyists are putting out there that we're having this great big trucker shortage, so we need to bring in autonomous trucks, that's a bunch of bullshit. It really is. I mean, we do not need more drivers. We need more freight. We need about 25% less drivers. And that should kind of right the market. But the market is going to right itself. But I just hate that they're putting out all these policies about not having enough drivers to get autonomous trucks going. And that also causes more people to come into trucking. And, you know, we're always going to need more people, but not in the amounts that are coming in. Like my company's hiring helmet for leather. But part of it's because I think they're realizing that a lot of people are going to quit when the inward-facing cameras come. I don't believe in the inward-facing cameras, but I also don't think they're the boogeyman that everyone thinks. Though I think they're an invasion on our privacy to a certain point. But the thing is all that it's showing is this. You can't see any of this. So, and it's only when the truck's on. When the truck is off, when someone turns, speaking of which, when someone turns the truck off, you know how we have USB ports, some of them will, when you turn the truck off, the power doesn't go to them, and some it does. Now with these cameras, inward-facing cameras, when you turn your truck off, the power goes off to them. So they cannot look at us when our truck is off. But the rest of the time, they can. And I heard at the safety meeting them saying, oh, well, we're not recording unless a critical event. That's not true. Because when I went in and met with them, I was told that it records 100 hours. And then it starts recording over itself. So for 100 hours, that is recording constantly. And then it starts taping over itself, as it were. So yes, it is recording, except for when the truck is off. When the truck's off, the recording stops, everything stops, because there's no power to it to do it. So, you know, I mean, it is what it is. I'm just, you know, hey, if you want to see me scratch my tit or pick my nose or something, have at it. You know, it is what it is. We're all human. We all do it. You get an itch, you got to scratch it. But anyway, so what are y'all's views? Come on, I need to see some comments up in here. This is supposed to be a two-way conversation. You know what I'm saying? It ain't an A, B, and C your way out. I know, right? I can at least be in kindergarten with that brilliant statement. So anyway, where y'all coming at me from? And can I get some likes, some thumbs up? Maybe, kinda, sorta. It really helps out my channel. Let me see who else in here. Okay, no comments, no thumbs up, huh? Oh, damn. This one ain't going good for Mother Trucker, is it? I don't know if it's the time I'm on here. It is, I don't know what time, 1700. Maybe y'all are all driving. Or maybe this isn't a subject that interests you. So anyway, if we don't get some people on here commenting or anything, I'm going to pretty well get off here. Let's see, I'll give it a minute to see if anyone comes on or says hi or hey or anything. And if not, I'm going to go ahead and hop off here and call it a day. Oh, let me see. ORT, Vic. Hey, how you doing? Let me see. The ones that pick in a bottle while driving, those are the ones that don't want the right. Yeah, if you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing as a driver, you don't want those cameras in there, that's for sure. Now, I really don't see, honestly, the advantage to having inward-facing cameras at all. Okay, I really don't. I see a huge advantage to outward-facing cameras. But at the same time, I'm not quitting my damn job because they put an inward-facing camera. You know, one thing, I'm purchasing my truck. And the other thing, it's just not that big a deal. Now, if those cameras showed the whole cab and was always recording, like when I was down or something, that would be a different story, because this is literally my home. But I went into my company with the Primes where I work. What's the deal? Because I had to rip this bandage off. I was tired of stressing over it. So I go in and I'm like, show me what this is all about. When they showed me this is all that it shows, and they actually showed me footage of drivers that are out there, and that wasn't nothing. Because there's nothing I'm doing going down the road. I listen to audio books, I drive, I check my mirror. There's nothing I'm doing. But once my truck's off, I do not want someone recording me. Company mode, no hippie trucking. Hey Lyle, how you doing, sweetie? So, there's just, it's not that deep for me. Now, if someone asks me, do I want it? No. Absolutely not. I do not want inward facing cameras. Am I going to quit my job? Hell no. It's not that deep. So it's just, everyone has to decide for themselves, is this something you can handle? When I saw all that it did record, it just wasn't that deep. My company has cameras both inward and outward facing, but they allow lease ops and owner ops like myself to cover them inward. And I think as a lease op and an owner op, we should have that option to cover them. Now, the outward-facing cameras, man, I am all about those. I think I would volunteer, I would pay extra to have outward-facing cameras on my truck. I don't think any good can come from inward-facing cameras. But that being said, once I saw all that it recorded, it wasn't one of the things, because I had considered leaving Prime at the time when I first heard about them. I discussed with different friends, and so like I said, I had to rip off the Band-Aid. I went in, I said, show me. It's not that big of a deal, but I think Prime might come to regret putting them in, because there is nothing an outward-facing camera can't tell if it was a driver's fault or not. They'll go, okay, yeah, that car just swerved in front of that truck and got hit. But if that driver was grabbing their drink or something and going like this, they go, right then, they took their eyes off the road just for a second. Any lawyer can use that to pick the driver apart, even though their client's car just jumped right in front of the truck. So there is no upside to have an inward-facing camera for the company. I don't see one. So, you just got to look at it. But far as now a driver shortage, is which I started this for, I do not believe we have a driver shortage. I think it's just the lobbyist for the autonomous driving trucks. So, what do y'all think? Do y'all think that we have a driver shortage, or do you think we have too many drivers? And I'm not talking about Prime, I'm talking about in general, as far as trucking. What do you think, Mr. Lyle? Hey, Bobby, how you doing, sweetie? Good evening. Our company truck uses outward. I think outward-facing cameras, yeah, we have too many cameras. What about drivers? You think we have too many drivers? I love outward-facing cameras, honestly. I think we should have outward-facing cameras, and I think we should have side cameras. And Lyle says we have too many cameras. But inward-facing cameras, to me, everything is going to shit, LL. Yeah, there's a lot going bad, but honestly, I think if we I'd rather have too many drivers. I think Lyle's saying he would rather have too many drivers, I think, than cameras. Yeah, I don't want too many drivers because it's really, for me, it's about the freight. I hate setting forever to wait for the next load. But as far as cameras go, honestly, outward facing, side facing cameras, that does not bother me in the least. I do not think that the inward facing cameras are going to do anything but cost the companies in the long run, as far as lawsuits and stuff like that. I think some drivers are going to be overstressed, especially young drivers, that they're worried about being gigged and they're going to overreact to stuff. I think some lawsuits that would have went in the company's favor, maybe the driver was lighting a cigarette. I don't smoke, but some drivers do, or was lighting a cigarette, and there's that, oh, he did it right at that moment. There's no good that can come from an inward-facing camera. There's just not. It's that for people suing the trucking companies. Bobby Young. I think they are useful because of an accident, so you'll be able to cover your ass, especially. Okay, outward cameras would be useful for an accident, not inwards. Nothing that an inward-facing camera can tell you that would be beneficial to the driver of the big rig. Nothing. Not a fucking thing. Outward-facing cameras, yes. Because if you have a four-wheeler jump in front of you or another big wheeler, but if you were grabbing, just like this, you know, to grab something, just slam, and it happened anywhere near that accident, or you weren't every so many seconds doing this, they will say it was the big rig driver's fault. Even though the outward-facing camera definitely showed that it was the fault of the four-wheeler. It's not about the cameras, it's about the micro. I understand that too, about the micromanagement of in-house staff. I agree with that too. I just don't think we should have inward-facing cameras, but I'm not quitting over it. I'm not leaving my company over it. What would cause me to leave my company is not enough freight. I'm not out here not to make money. If I can make more money doing Uber at home, I'd rather do Uber and be home every night. If I can make more money delivering trucks for a living, I'd rather do that. But like I said, there's no driver shortage. We have way too many drivers. We need to cut back on the amount of drivers. OTR Vic says they will try to nitpick something against you with inward-facing cameras in an accident. Absolutely. The only person the inward-facing cameras is going to benefit in an accident is the person suing the big rig company. And I think the micromanaging down to the point of, you know, by in-house staff, I think it is going too far when it comes with the inward-facing cameras. And the excuses we're being given is, you know, that dog don't hunt, it doesn't even fly a little bit. But, like I said, I am not quitting my job over it. It doesn't make any sense to do it. It just doesn't. I don't agree with them, but I do see the areas they're doing, and I don't do anything that's going to get me gigged. Outward-facing cameras, I welcome with everything, but like I said, the inward-facing, I don't like it. I think it is going to be nothing. It's going to come back to bite the companies. How do you steer that big ass wheel thing? You're such a dork. I don't know, how do you do it, Lyle? And another thing, that these people that are in-house looking at what we're doing, most of them aren't drivers. They don't have the experience behind the wheel. So if they see something happen or see us do something, you know, they don't know what they would have done behind that wheel. I think the people manning the cameras that do these reports, I think they should be looked at by actual drivers, experienced long-term drivers. I think if they're going to have these cameras, they need to hire someone when these events happen. They need to bring in truckers off the road to view this footage, people who actually know what they're doing and have driven a truck. But that's just me. That's my opinion. But anyway, guys, I'm about to pull in here, so I'm going to go ahead and get off here. I wanted to say hi to y'all and see how everyone's doing. And like I said, I keep hearing this stuff about the trucker shortage, and I know it's being pushed by the lobbyists for these AI companies. There is no trucker shortage, not at all. And if I were a trucker, I wouldn't be. If I was thinking of becoming a trucker, this would not be the time for me to come into it. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. I will shout at you guys later. Take care. Mother Trucker out.